Now, our next guest is something of a cult figure for his radio shows and podcasts, along with comedians Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, but he's since become something of a cultural commentator and author, although he does find it difficult to get down to writing.
I wonder why.
That's when Ricky said, you know, if I wanted to get away from the noise and that, I could use his office to work in. But it can be just as hard to work in there sometimes.
Is that annoying?
A little bit.
Gotta keep it clean. Gotta keep hygienic, haven't you? You were complaining before that you were ill. So you keep your surroundings clean, then you will never get ill, will you? Whee!
That's Karl Pilkington, everyone.
He's just shaking his head.
It's not amazing, is it?
We worked together at XFM. Karl taught me everything there is to know about broadcasting. But Ricky Gervais, I didn't know him then at the time really very well at the station because we worked on different days. But he used to go up to other DJs and just stand there and stare at them like that while they're trying to broadcast. He used to do anything to put people off, didn't he? Just to annoy people, yeah. He's got that sort of personality.
Oh, he's got it down to a T now. He's brilliant at it.
Yeah.
Years of honing.
Oh, yeah. And it doesn't matter who you are either. You know, there's no sort of... it's not just kind of like, he's happy wrestling with me. He'll do it with whoever's around. So remember that if you have him on.
Right, well, that might be a bit disconcerting.
Yeah. Now, just to tell the quick story before we get into talking about the book of your life. You worked at a radio station, XFM, and you were just a producer there, making jingles and stuff like that, and used to work a bit doing a show with me, didn't you? We used to get you in and have a bit of a laugh. And then you went off to produce Ricky Gervais, actually became funnier than Ricky Gervais.
Well, he
says that as well.
Yeah, but he also says I've got a head like an orange.
He
so
does.
It's kind of, you know, it's kind of
often.
if you believe one thing, he says you've got to go with all of it. So I prefer not to sort of agree with him on that one. But yeah, it was just ended up being on the show, and he sort of, you know, I'd say stuff when the songs were on, and he'd say, "Put the mic on, say it." And I'd been a presenter years ago and got sacked from it.
Had you?
Yeah.
Why? Why did you get sacked?
Just sort of talking a lot, and you know, it was through the night, and I used to always think no one was listening and stuff, so I used to just chat away to myself. And then the boss sort of fired me, and that was that. So I didn't want to go on air again.
Right.
And then Ricky and Steve were like, "It'll be all right, you're with us now," you know. And yeah, it went on from there.
But in fairness to Ricky, you know, you were just a producer. He's a massive star and becoming bigger and bigger whilst you're working on the show. And he gave you your you know, some airtime and also then let you become part of the projects, the podcast and everything else, kept picking you up everywhere. So in fairness to him, it's good because a lot of celebrity stroke comedians are very precious, aren't they? Won't let anyone come and take their limelight. Yeah,
but how many people are happy to have, like, a vac on their head and stuff like that? It's kind of, you know, there's give and take, you know. So, yeah, it is good of him, though, because, I mean, without him, that book wouldn't have happened, and, I mean, I wouldn't be sat here, because I never wanted to do this. Do you know what I mean? It's not... No, seriously, this was never part of a dream or anything, do you know what I mean? So it is weird.
Are you still working with him?
Yeah, I mean, I see him, like, I speak to him every day. He calls up every day just to see what I'm doing.
Just to see what you're doing?
Yeah, just what you're doing. And then, then the other day, he called up and he said, "Where are you?" And I was in Chalk Farm having a meeting, part of London. And he said, "Why don't you come round to the office?" So I said, "What for?" Because meetings with him are never proper meetings. Like I say, it's almost like I feel like his personal trainer. It's kind of, let's have a wrestle. So he called up and he said, "Come round." I was like, "What for? What are we going to do?" And he said, "Oh, we can have a meeting." And I thought, went along, and his office is in a really nice part of, like, North London. Dead quiet, trees and stuff, really peaceful. Considering it's London, it's nice. And I'm walking down this little alleyway to his office, and he, "Stop. This is the round head police. Your head is too round," right? And this is, like, this really loud, to the point of I was like, how's he managed that? And he'd fold up a piece of card and made, like, a megaphone. And people were coming out of offices and stuff, and road workers were stopping the work going, like, "What's that?" And that's all he wanted me around for. When I got in, I said, "What are we doing?" He said, No, I just wanted to do that." So you know...
He's just kind of he's like a playful guy, isn't he?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I don't know. Because it's him, people go, oh, he's a laugh, isn't he? But if he was just a bloke who was a plumber, you'd go, he's annoying. I think that's the thing. He gets away with it.
Is he watching this morning?
I was doing a radio show once, and I said, and the question was, "What's the most annoying thing?" And people do it. He called in because he wanted to have a go about. Because I love this subject. So many things annoy me, and just started battling them out.
Really?
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, listen. Let's talk about your book. It is funny. I've read it, and it basically is just the workings of your mind, which are quite strange. You look at things, and you look at them in a slightly different way. What is the idea of the book? Sum it up for us. What?
I'd say what happened was when I was doing the radio show with Ricky and Steve, they, they'd throw stuff at me and I'd sort of be a bit confused by it. And they'd say, why don't you know this stuff? I said, I just don't know it. I've never learnt it. And they would started digging and finding out about my days at school and stuff. And they found out my exam results. I never picked them up when I left school because I left a bit earlier than everyone else because I thought I want to get a job before everyone else gets them. So I got a job, and then like years on, like I end up doing that, and they're sort of like, "How did you do at school?" And I said, "I don't know." And they called up the school and found out that I just got an E in history. That's all I got, GCSE. E,
now you've got
1E.
a book.
Well, I know. Well, that's what made me do it because I kind of thought, well, everybody does all the learning when they're younger. And it's not always the best time, is it? Because that's when you want to play out on your bike and all that.
Yeah.
So, but now I haven't got a bike, so it's like let's do the learning now. And I just sort of went out to museums and
Is this
art
part
galleries.
of this quest for knowledge you did a TV series about it, didn't you?
Well, I did a programme on Channel 4 just to find out if I'd be happier if I was really, really bright. You know, like I met Will Self, and he knows everything, doesn't he? But he always looks miserable. So I was kind of like, is it worth sort of knowing more? And I found nothing out. It was just nice to meet a few people and have a chat about different stuff.
So did you and Will get along then?
I don't know. It was a weird sort of meeting. I don't think. I don't know. There might have been a crossover point where we agreed on one thing, but not really. We didn't really get on there.
Getting back to the book, what you're basically doing is you're going through a little journey. You've gone to the Natural History Museum. You've gone to see that funny
Bodies exhibition.
Yeah, bodies where he puts plastic in bodies. That was a bit weird. Wasn't it? I went to see that as well.
Again,
what did you think about that?
It's just. It's something to do with bodies, and I suppose the way that we run out of land, aren't we, with buildings being built and people needing flats. So it's a different way of getting rid of dead bodies, I suppose. But it is interesting.
Carlology.
Yeah, it's. Would you have that done with your body when you're dead?
No.
Everyone looks the same though underneath. Seriously.
Under their skin.
Underneath, yeah.
It's that whole beauty from within thing.
Yeah.
The interesting things where they show people like the bodies of sort of obese people or something, or the ones with smoked their lungs.
Yeah, they've done that. Yeah. What's really annoying is there was a lot of like dead bodies who were doing stuff like he had them running playing rugby.
Yeah.
Or
That's
like
the bit I
badminton.
didn't like, yeah.
But it's what annoyed me is.
Badminton?
Well, I've never played rugby, and it's like this dead body is doing something I've never done. It's just. I thought I haven't lived yet. But,
I do like the way your mind works.
Do you get recognised now in the street?
It does happen, yeah. But normally it's just people sort of point at the head. And that's all because of Ricky. It does sort of... It's knocked my confidence a little bit, and there's nothing I can do. I can't sort of grow hair or anything and cover it. So I've sort of...
Get a weave?
I wear a hat. You can't, though, can you?
Will you be working with Ricky again?
Yeah, probably do more sort of the audio book stuff that we do. And, he's had me in his film, but you won't see me in that because he's cut me out.
Can I just say one thing? When I worked with you, you were quite miserable in your job, weren't you? You didn't really like it that much, did you?
Not really.
So was it that brilliant day when you suddenly could go, I can have my notice in now?
It wasn't... It's weird because I didn't really think it through. It was just one day was really bad at that station. And the boss walked past and I said, I'm calling it a day. And he went, yeah, get off home. See you tomorrow. And I went, no, that's it. And I went back in there the other day to do an interview about this, and I got a cold sweat. Do you know when you go in somewhere and it's like, this is depressing.
Yeah, you did put some hours in there.
Yeah, I did.
It's very good. Right, Carl, be staying with us and take your emails along with Mile In Class. If you've got a question to ask them, send us an email via the BBC website, bbc.co.uk.